YouTubers. Yeah, it's your old pal Jackhammer Mike with a major brain fart. I should have mentioned this in the last video, so I had to make a part 2. Now that all of these radios are now talking to each other, there's a cool thing that you can do with it that I didn't think to mention in the last video. Now you see how they're configured here? Let's say that we have one north, south, east, and west, and these radios are too weak to talk to each other. Okay? This one can't talk to this one, and this vice versa. They can't talk this way or this way. None of these radios can communicate with each other because they just don't have the distance for it. However, you throw in a radio like this ham with the Baofeng BFF8HP and put it in the middle of these guys. Now he can talk to this guy can relay to this guy, or vice versa. Or this guy can talk to this guy and he can relay to this guy. This guy can talk to this guy, he can relay it to that guy. This is like a mini, I don't want to say a repeater, because a repeater listens and it also broadcasts at the same time. This won't do it. You're going to have to listen to his message and then you're going to have to relay it. But what this does is it gives you a bigger area of coverage. So say for instance, like in our area of operation where Camp Contingency is, maybe we've got 5 people in our group. Okay, so you guys out there in the country, and TCP is going to do a vid here pretty soon about his board. I think he's got 12-ish individuals now signed up, and 8 states. So if you were to get 5 guys, 6 guys, 7 guys, maybe you've got 4 guys out on patrol or at listening posts. Maybe they're just kicking back, kind of somewhat hidden and just observing the area around you, okay, just for security reasons. So here's Camp Contingency, and here's a guy maybe a half mile north, half mile south, half mile west, half mile east, and it's going to be reversed because the camera, whatever. You know what I'm saying. You could call for a check-in. Check-in 1, check-in 2, check-in 3, check-in 4. You here in the center are going to always be talking to these guys. Yet these guys really can't talk to each other because they just don't have the range. Okay, so that's just kind of a cool feature of being able to do this, and extending your capabilities, all by just taking these radios and programming them to the same channel. Now, when we're talking about the family radio service frequencies, none of these boxes had anything on it that said that they were programmed for that. It has 16 channels. I think they all do, all 4 of them. They all have 16 channels, which is all the family radio frequencies. But none of them had the frequencies in there. Because when I started looking at the internals, like what you have to do when you get on the Chirp program is you're going to basically load from the radio. You're going to basically look inside the radio and see what's programmed in there. And none of the frequencies were family radio service. I don't know what the hell they had in it. But again, these two talked together and these two talked together, but this wouldn't talk to that one and that wouldn't talk to this, and so on and so on. So they basically had to go in and program them all together, all the same frequencies. So once I got on here, another important thing. This is a, what is this? This is an Amcrest ATR 22. Now the contingency plan looked in his manual, and it says that it will respond when you're downloading to Baofeng B 888. B-888, I believe, is what you'll find that will program this. I couldn't find shit for these, but I used the BF888 software that you get in Chirp, and it worked fine. It worked really, really well. So I would say try that first, depending on the radio you got, try that first. These are all pretty much made by the same. They all got the same guts, they just have a little bit of different look to them. But the Baofeng B-888 programming software worked for all four of those. So once I got that in there and I found the family services channels for it, I just download the radio, bam, download the radio, download the radio, download the radio, and that was it. They saved, and that was a done deal. So now I have an extended range of eyeballs all out. I don't even know what the range is yet. We'll find out when we get out to Camp Contingency. Probably won't be this weekend unless we can find some spare time. It's too close to Christmas. Probably be after Christmas, maybe next weekend. We'll see. Maybe towards New Year's. That'll be a good time. But yeah, we'll get out, test the range of these radios, and like I said, you know, if this guy's a mile away up here, that makes a mile away from here, and maybe this guy's a mile, so there's a 2 mile spread. He's not going to be able to communicate with that guy. Same with these guys. If they're a mile off to the sides, they're not going to be able to communicate, I don't believe. I don't think they're going to get a mile range, even with a better antenna on it. But regardless, they're all going to be able to talk to this guy. And this guy's going to be able to hear it. So, relaying messages to forward observation, east, west, south observations, and you've got this big ass area covered with eyeballs and earballs to extend your area. And maybe say you're in the neighborhood. I could have one guy up a block, I could have one guy down the block, one guy over this way, one guy over that way, and everybody having eyeballs and earballs out, and being central command might be able to hear all 3, 4 of these guys, yet they can't hear each other because the signals are too weak. We'll have to see. We'll play with it and find out. So, I forgot, you know, sorry I had to put on a part 2. But I just wanted to kind of explain how you can increase all these ranges and make the most of these simple, inexpensive camp radios. And programming is critical to it, so that you're all on the same page, you're all listening to the same frequencies. So cool. All right, with that, I'm out. Later.